First tonight, a Lakeshore officer cleared for the fatal September shooting of Julius Johnson. Prosecutors reporting detailing Johnson's flight from police and violent attacks on the officer before being shot. And the twist today, Johnson's sister could be facing charges for lying to police. 24-Hour News 8's Tony Tagliavia picking up the story from there. He's live tonight in Muskegon. Tony?
Good evening, Brian. We spoke with a relative. She said she didn't want to speak on camera at length, but she said the family is upset and wants to challenge both decisions by prosecutors, the one to clear the officer and the one to look at charges against the suspect's sister.
And the police just blatantly stated, "I am going to shoot you." And my brother said, "Please don't shoot me," and they shot him.
That's what Tanisha Phillips told 24-Hour News 8 and state police investigators after her brother was fatally shot in the early morning hours of September 23rd. But prosecutor Tony Tague says it was a lie.
The gist of the sister's statement was that the officer had shot her brother while he was begging for his life. All the physical evidence, as well as the audio evidence from the scene, indicates that that is a fabrication.
We tried to reach Tanisha Phillips today at the home where she lived when the shooting took place. No one came to the door. So what did happen? A report from Tague's office says Julius Johnson was the passenger in a car stop for a traffic offense. After a bag containing suspected crack cocaine was found, Johnson fled, according to the report, and when Officer Charles Anderson caught up, he was assaulted repeatedly, sprayed with pepper spray, and struck with his own radio.
The evidence in this case is overwhelming as to what occurred, that the officer was the subject of a brutal attack, that he did in fact receive great bodily harm because of a fractured skull, that he could have died if the assault continued, and all the evidence overwhelmingly points to the fact that the officer was justified in his use of deadly force.
That evidence includes a recording from a camera someone had attached to a home near the scene in the 1700 block of Pine Street, apparently to keep an eye on what happens in the alley. It was too dark to capture any usable video, but prosecutors say you can hear Phillips asking what happened after the shooting, creating doubt that she saw the incident as she claimed. The tape is not being released, but it could be presented in court as early as next week because prosecutors plan to charge Phillips with false report of a felony, itself a felony charge.
We understand emotions run high in these cases, but when we're involved in a serious inquiry, we cannot allow these emotions to result in fabrications or lies to the police. This cannot and will not be tolerated.
As we reported at 5, prosecutor Tony Tague thinks Julius Johnson shouldn't have even been on the streets because he had violated the terms of his parole. A corrections spokesman said he did test positive for marijuana on a couple of drug tests, but had clean drug tests after that. The corrections spokesman says the old policy of one strike and back to prison wasn't working, and now that cases are examined individually, the rate of reoffense by parolees is at its lowest point in more than a decade. At the Muskegon courthouse, Tony Tagliavia, 24-Hour News 8.